Yeah, Moses. That he was the most. He's the man of Anubis. He's the most humble person in the history of the Torah. He's the most humble Jew ever. That's what his trait was. It was like Solomon had the wisdom. Moses had Anubis. He was humble. He didn't.
Shlomo also had hundreds of women.
I didn't say he was a Nevis or anything like that. I just said he was the wisest, right? But Moses is always credited with being like, right? Like David is the bravest, and it's like all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Moses was the humblest. He didn't want any of this, and the whole thing is written about him.
Can you please read some gospel songs?
No, but we can sing our song. Ready?
It's the most wonderful time
of the year.
Ho, ho, ho. And that goes out to Alan and to Leslie and to Sarah.
Who's DJ Mick? Who's that?
He wants us to sing gospel.
Is that your friend?
No.
Okay.
If the Torah was a human creation, it would be much more pro-Jewish than it is.
Oh, of course. That's one of the proofs. Rabbi Victor Miller always talks about that. That's one of the proofs that it's true. Because what religion, right, would go to such great length to trash their heroes? It makes no sense. And not only that, but who wrote the stuff down? Who actually put it in print? Was those people themselves. It makes no sense to say that Moses would trash himself and that, Ezra would tell all these people to trash themselves, right? Unless it came from God. It doesn't make any sense. You don't see like in Islam, right? You don't see like them trashing Muhammad. It doesn't make sense. You don't see people trashing Jesus. Jesus had a few extracurriculars, a little bit of impropriety here, he banged a few shiksas. You don't see that. We're the only religion that would spend such great length trashing people, and that's how you know it's the truth.
People didn't name their children upon birth in the ancient world because too many of them died. They basically waited to name their kids until after they'd been weaned.
Where did that come from? Your ass? Where did you pull that from?
Dennis Prager.
I can't think of anything that he could be. Why would you even just? Why do you follow these things blindly and accept them as truth? Does he have a mucker for that? Do you know anybody in the history of time that waited till they're weaned? No, you can't find one person.
He quoted Nachum Sana.
Who?
Nachum Sana. He wrote the Jewish Publication Society commentary on Exodus.
So it just gets worse, right? Right, because he got a belly rub, so now he's some sort of authority. I mean, come on. Is there anything kosher here where you just pull this stuff out? It's like one apicurus following another. No. Every Jew was named, every Jewish male was named at the time of their bris on the 8th day. And every Jewish female, it's a minhag. At the change of minhag, either the first Shabbos or the second Shabbos. But that's it. Nobody waits till they're weaned. You won't find anybody in any time period that waited for that. That is complete garbage.
Have you ever met anyone named Pua?
Have I met anyone named Pua? There's the Pua Institute. You know about that? The Pua Institute is a... you know what it is? Why are you laughing?
It sounds funny.
Why? No, it was named after her. I mean, it makes sense. It's an institute. It's a Jewish institute it's the opposite of me. It's for people that can't have kids and they want kids. So I have a problem with Pua because it doesn't serve me very well. They give IVF and all these kind of things and I think they even provide midwives.
But have you met anyone named Pua?
So no.
Well, we got all these people named Shifra, but no one named Pua.
Who? I know one Shifra in my entire life. I never heard of the word Shifra. I never heard of a woman named Shifra until like 3 or 4 years ago.
She gave me a tummy rub.
Did she? I know one Shifra. In my entire life, I'm
not entirely proud of.
I know of one Shifra. No Puas, but there's no Shifra Institute. It's a Pua Institute. These are uncommon names, but Pua makes sense for the institute.
So, Exodus chapter 2, verse 2. Wait. Nothing miraculous about the birth of Moses. He's not divine. He's not born of a virgin. God is the central character, the main mover of the book of Exodus. According to Rashi, Moses' mom, Jochebed... Yocheved gave birth to him when she was 130. You
Right.
buy this? How
Of
would
course.
Rashi know?
Oh, Rashi explains. Did you read the Rashi?
No, I'm sure there's a midrash.
Rashi explains. It's a simple cheshbon. It's a simple mathematical formula. You want it? I mean, if you're quoting Rashi, the fact that you knew there was Rashi, why didn't you read the whole Rashi? Here's how it goes. Ready? How long were we in Egypt?
I don't know.
210 years. Right? How old was Moses when he died?
I don't know.
120. Torah says. How long were we in the desert?
I don't know.
Well, you know, it's 40 years. So how old was Moses when he came out of Egypt?
I don't know.
80. 120 minus 40 is 80. He was 80 when he came out of Egypt. So when was he born? He was born 130 years into, right, 210 minus 80, 130 years into our exile into Egypt, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We know that his mother is Yocheved. Yocheved is referred to as Bas Levi. She's the daughter of Levi. Okay. When did Levi die?
I don't know.
When it started. You already said it at the beginning of the show. Right? Slavery started when the sons died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Levi was already dead. 130 years she was alive before she had Moses. Boom. You just said it. That's the cheshbon.
So I guess there's a midrash that when Moses was born, the whole room got filled with light.
I think that's right.
Like when I was born, that happened too. Like the whole room was filled with light, and these angels came down singing very softly. And I was born circumcised, just like Moses. And I immediately began speaking in perfect Hebrew. And this disco ball dropped from the ceiling, and it started
Was he born
rotating around.
circumcised?
Yeah. And the Bee Gees started singing "Staying Alive, Staying Alive," even though they hadn't met yet. Perhaps I too am destined to save the Jews.
Could be. I believe it. You saved the Jews from the porn industry.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: who says that he was circumcised when he was born?
Yeah, scroll.
Does it?
Yeah.
Because here's my question: if he was circumcised, then the daughter of Paro who picks him up, right? Right? Doesn't she recognize that he's a Jew?
Maybe she wasn't looking at his cock. Not everyone does. Maybe that's just something you do.
Funny stuff. Funny stuff. All right, let's go to the next
Thanks, I
thing.
also do weddings and bar mitzvahs.
Funny stuff. Give him a golf clap for that one. All right. Okay.
So, if God came to me and said, Levi, I want you to save the Jews, I'd be like, yeah. Now I'll get a wife and pay off my credit cards. And, this is going to rock. I would love to, save the Jews. I would be so down with it. But like Moses, I don't think so. I am ready to save the Jews. I am ready and waiting to save the Jews. I have what it takes.
And that's why you're not Moses, because you're the guy who's raring to go and wants to be the hero. Moses does. You're the opposite of an Evis.
Yes,
you're
I am.
You're like, I'm a go-getter. And I want all the fame and glory, and that's not at all what Judaism can't have. That
write some holy books
we
about
cannot
me.
have that for our leaders. That is putrid. We don't want leaders like that. We want leaders who don't want the assignment. It says in Pirkei Avos, right? Somebody who chases after covet, what does he get? Nothing.
Gets bupkis.
He gets bupkis. Who gets covet?
The one who flees from it.
The guy who runs away from it. That's right. Go ahead.
So Moses crying in his little ark is the only instance of a baby crying in the Bible.
You know that for a fact?
Nachum Sana said
it. You're quoting these heretics. I don't know if, I'm not saying it's true or it's not true. I don't have tremendous bekias. I can't tell you, but I just wouldn't accept that. I
got the whole thing memorized.
If it comes from a trefa source, it's like lobster. I don't get near it. I wouldn't quote that.
So Art Scroll on Exodus chapter 2 verse 7, Moses refused to nurse from Egyptian women because God said, "Shall the mouth that will converse with the divine presence drink unclean milk? Shall an Egyptian woman boast, I fed the mouth that converses with the divine presence?" Is there anything wrong with a Jew suckling from a non-Jew? Or non-Jews unclean? Is their breast milk unclean? What if they shower really well?
You want the halacha?
Sure.
The first time
because I remember I met this non-Jew. I didn't think. Go ahead.
Did you, the one that gave you the back rub? Did you suck on her breast?
I think I did, but I wasn't.